LLC. Jared has been an entrepreneur since graduating early from Kelley School of Business at Indiana University. Upon earning his degree, well, this sounds very businesslike, Jared launched a reverse mortgage startup company in Chicago, spent time on Wall Street, initiated the rapid expansion of health and wellness franchise, participated in a large merger and acquisition of a nutraceutical company, became a speaker for small business owners, undergraduate students, entrepreneurs, etc., and most recently launched Synduit LLC in July of 2011. Synduit, founded in July 2011, is an automated marketing department for your small business. His vision is to bring Fortune 500 quality marketing to the everyday small business owner. When Jared is not being his visionary entrepreneur self, which is rare, his passion is the world of personal development, health and wellness, and spending time with his family and his fiance. His engagement video went viral. Well, yours did too. So did mine.
Yeah. We got like a few million, I think, at this point. I don't even.
Wow.
Yeah.
What happened with that?
No, I just put it on Facebook. I mean, I just put it on YouTube. I literally did not do anything.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it just went nuts.
I
didn't put 1 ounce of effort in. I just loaded it, and somehow it just went crazy. So yeah.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
Mine was the one from Tony Robbins. So
it went incredible. Yeah,
that was pretty cool. Pretty cool. So what I'll do is, I think what I'll do, the easiest way for me to do it so that my screen doesn't show what I'm reading, is I'll just kind of just do a screenshot of you, and then and then I'll read it so that it sounds good, and then we'll go right into talking. Does that sound okay?
Yeah, I think that makes the most sense.
Perfect. So let's get started with the question. So I want to thank you first for joining me today. I want to introduce, this is Jared Yellen. He is the CEO of Synduit. Thanks for joining me today.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm excited to speak with your tribe and to share some value and new ideas so they can automate the expansion of their business and have a ton of fun while doing it.
Well, fantastic. Before we get started with some of my questions, I was noticing your last name is Yellen. Now, was that something that your parents knew when you were young, that you were going to be an outspoken guy, or how did that come about? I'm curious.
It's so funny. Like I had this conversation with my fiance, so I'm getting married soon, and she happens.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. This is a very fitting last name for her because she's also outspoken. But what's interesting about me is I'm like this very weird extrovert introvert, where when I speak on the platform, because I speak at really large events, I could go up with not 1 minute of preparation and just do my thing. But then when I'm done and it's time for me to talk one-on-one, like in a networking environment, I think this introvert just emerges, and all I want to do is hide in my hotel room. So I definitely yell on stage, but then one-on-one, I still don't have that gift. I have not mastered that one yet.
That's great. I like that. All right, so let's get started. So now, I would say you're a master at internal marketing. I think that's where your specialty lies. Now, how do you define internal marketing? Why is it so important for a business to incorporate that in their marketing strategy?
What I find for business owners is that there's such an enormous emphasis on new business acquisition, on finding ways to get more customers in the door. And to me, I agree, you need to have a pipeline of new business. But what often happens is if you put 100% of your focus on just acquiring new business from the outside, what happens is you have a really big back door. So people are coming in the front door and out the back doors quickly. And to really build a sustainable model that has incredible valuations, if your goal at some point is to have an exit strategy, is to have retention. I mean, that's the key to the success in your business, is to have customers coming back for more, talking about what you're doing, almost building like an evangelical tribe. And from my experience doing this now for over a decade, working with thousands of businesses, the most effective way I have found to achieve that is going internal and letting it spill external, where you actually build a culture in your business that's magnetic so that no one wants to leave and everyone wants to join.
Oh, that's fantastic. Now, how does your internal marketing actually, how can it affect your external marketing?
Yeah. So one of the things that I find is whenever a business goes out and they hire either a coach or they bring on someone to mentor them, or they're working with like a consulting firm, they make it seem that retention, just as an example, is a byproduct of like a process or a procedure. And from my perspective, it's not. It's the byproduct of the culture that you create in your business that then spills over into your community, which then brings the community into your business. And then that cycle continues. So the way that internal gets external very quickly is through consistency. It's through having a consistent marketing plan that is set up. And what happens now, and this is like the definition of sales, is getting somebody excited about a future outcome before they've even experienced it. Well, the same holds true with your marketing, because if you have a marketing plan that's set up for 12 months for your business and you're able to have a new customer see what that is, they're so excited about what's going to happen that they never even think about leaving. And then this also brings in more business, because then they go and talk about it with their friends and their family about a decision they just made to get involved in your business.
Fantastic. So as a business owner, for example, what do you think the role is of a business owner? What do you think their role is?
So the key with this is, and it's a really good question. The business owner needs to operate as the CEO. So what that means is they need to have a crystal clear vision of where the company is headed, and they need to communicate that on a regular basis to their entire team so that their team is enrolled, to their family, so when they go home, their family is enrolled, and to every customer that enters their business, which means that everyone in your ecosystem has a clear understanding of what your vision is. From there, you need to be on the pulse of what's going on in your business. I find that often business owners, when it comes to marketing, if that's not their gift, like if they don't enjoy it, they just delegate it and they wonder why their business suffers. You need to at least know what's going on. Now, I don't think that you have to be the one sitting down necessarily and writing your sales copy and doing your design and setting up autoresponders and landing pages. Like, you don't need to be the one to do that if you have the luxury of being able to hire someone, but you need to know what is happening and how this fits into your vision.
Exactly. And what about the staff? What about the team that for the office?
Yeah.
What is their role?
I love this, because to me, like, if you think about this concept, and I've done a lot, I know you're a student of personal development also. So I've done a lot of personal development programs, and I love just going and expanding my mind. And a few years ago, I did this program called Lifebook, which is this 4-day like total immersion experience. It's in Chicago. The founder is an incredibly successful entrepreneur, and this is just his passion project at this point. And you go through and you write the book of your life. And I happen to know the founder very well. We're good friends. And he was once talking with somebody in the room that I was in about how they should go and they should hire someone to clean their house. And they were like, well, I don't know if I want to spend the money. And he said, realize that by you doing that, you're stealing an opportunity for someone to access and realize their potential, because your potential is in a different area. So the reason I'm sharing this is because with your staff, their potential is different than your potential. And their potential might be execution, where yours might be vision. So you want to make sure that you have someone that complements your skill set, so that they can fill in the gaps that you just don't possess. You don't possess. And I see this happen all the time with business owners who have a vision, but they have no one to execute on the vision. So now they're trying to execute, but that's not their skill, and they don't understand why they can make no forward progress. And then they think too small and they don't hire. So go out and hire someone who's going to complement you, that's going to fill the gap so that your vision becomes real, because you have someone to execute in the trenches with you.
You know, it's funny when you said the book of your life, I was wondering, So if you were to write a book about your life, is it a pamphlet or is it a novel? Is it a large book? Is it a small book? Because I'm actually writing 4 books right now. So, it's just interesting when you said that, the book of your life. I mean, do you have experiences, or did you just, watch life go by and not do anything? So I imagined,
it's a really interesting concept to think about because, and I think it's a question that everybody really should answer, because I find that often business owners, like, they're just like in this race of like that day. And then they lose sight of vision. And we all know the saying, without vision, people peril. Like, the key is to never lose sight of the vision, regardless of what's happening in the day to day. So when you write that book, that better be an open-ended novel that just keeps getting added to as you continue to expand the vision.
Absolutely. And both of us, since we're both just recently engaged, we've got a whole new chapter to write.
Well, there you go. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, thanks. So how do you go about building a marketing strategy? How do you go about it?
So I'll keep it really simple, and then you could always add on top of this. So my whole philosophy on the most effective mechanism for marketing is education and relationship-based marketing. It's the pitching and catching of growing a business. Before there was this thing called the internet and search engine optimization and Google AdWords and Facebook advertising, what did businesses do to grow their business? Well, what they did was education and relationship-based marketing. They went out and they hustled a little bit. It doesn't mean that they were like sweating like crazy at the end of the day, but they would go out and they would introduce themselves to other local businesses who shared a common belief system, who had similar customers, and they would find ways to build strategic relationships with those businesses so that together they would be able to educate a larger audience about how their product or service creates value in their business. And then simultaneously, what they would do is they would leverage their existing customers and clients to create relationships for them with either individual new prospects, with other businesses they can work with leaders in the community. So at the foundation of building your marketing strategy, what you want to do is think about education and relationship-based marketing. So what I always tell businesses to do right out of the gates, and it's such a simple exercise and it's actually a lot of fun, is you want to create 3 categories of relationships. One of those categories is going to be like-minded businesses in your community. So if you happen to be a CrossFit gym owner and you were to sit down to do this exercise, who would be 5 other businesses in your community that you see a synergy with, whether it's a yoga studio, a health food store, et cetera, et cetera. The next category are 5 evangelical customers. So people that are spending money with you who believe in what you believe so deeply. And the reason they believe in what you believe is because what you believe is an extension of who they are, that they have this burning desire to stand on a soapbox and share this message with the community. And then the other category is going to be 5 movers and shakers in the community, leaders in the community. This could be the head of the Chamber of Commerce. This could be the superintendent of the school system. This could be a pastor or a rabbi, leaders in the community. And you have this, now you have 15 relationships. And then you build out a marketing strategy that leverages at least 1 relationship every single month. And remember, education and relationship-based marketing. So what that means is you want to have regular workshops that are taking place in your business and outside in the community on a monthly basis. Maybe you want to do teleseminars and webinars because your business doesn't really have a community. You serve a much wider geographic region and people don't come to a brick and mortar location. So you want a series of webinars and teleseminars. You want to have client appreciation days that take place at least quarterly, where you just acknowledge the people that have made everything happen. And you can do this virtually as well. And you want to make sure that you also incorporate thematic referral opportunities. So whether you're a yoga studio, a CrossFit gym, a chiropractor, or even running an online store, you have an e-commerce site, you want to have referral programs with really fun incentives so that people rally around those causes. All of that will make up your marketing strategy. You just need to add your spin to it based on whatever industry you're in.
Perfect. I love that idea. Now, when you work with a company, what do you think the most significant mistakes that a business makes with their internal marketing?
Lack of consistency. I find that business owners, they are so reactive with their marketing. It's like, oh, wait a second, it's Sunday night, and I'm launching something tomorrow. I better send out an email tonight so they even know that it's happening. Like it doesn't work. So it's completely ineffective. There's no love that's built into it. Like there's no thought that's built into it. There's no strategy that's built into it. So from my experience, the death of marketing for business owners is the lack of consistency. You need to have a plan that is built out, ideally for 12 months, but at least for 3 months. And you can build on that quarterly so that you're planned out into the future. So there's nothing reactive. You know exactly what the promotions are or the initiatives are or what relationships you're leveraging. And then you can have your executors, because you have a team, begin to bring it to life by writing email copy, setting up landing pages, lead generation, et cetera, et cetera.
Yes. So how do you go about figuring out what part of that team you should start hiring first? Like, who's your first person that you want to, if you're starting out, for example, and you're like, I need to do this external marketing, but I need to be in my office, for example, who would I first go out and hire?
Yeah. So I would look to hire based on personality characteristics as opposed to skill set, if you can only have one person. And I would look for somebody who's really high energy, able and willing to work hard and take direction. They have experience, possibly. I'm not really big with like tons of experience necessarily, but where they've seen like a project through fruition, and like someone that just has like that magnetic energy. Like that would be, if you can only hire one person, that would be the person. And then if they don't have the skills like to do copywriting or design, you can go on to any of the online freelance websites and either hire on there very inexpensively or train them. I mean, get them to watch videos like this so they learn how to write effective copy or how to possibly use Photoshop for basic design. But having that person that's just really charismatic, they're excited about the vision, they believe in what you believe, and they have magnetic energy, that would be, if you could only hire one person, that's what I would say.
I would say in my office, it would be someone that I'd probably already have as a patient, would be because I'd already get to know their personality and go, this is the person for me. So, what do you think when a business says, internal marketing sounds good, but I don't really have the time to do all that. I want to just get external. I just want to focus all on external marketing. I'm not so interested in the internal marketing. What does that make you think?
No, it's like somebody that like goes down the path of getting like Botox, but doesn't eat healthy. It's a superficial Botox way to grow your business. It's absurd. To that person, I would say you're going to be in a rat race for the rest of your career, because you're going to constantly be focusing on getting new business, and you're never going to see any increase in your bottom line because you're going to lose as much as you're going to gain. And it's just the reality. I'm not telling you to just do internal. I think external has a major play with regard to your marketing mix, but you need to have some hybrid to this, because if not, then there's no culture in your business. And all that you're doing, from my perspective, is you're selling air. Even if you offer value, you're still selling air because there's no culture. And a culture is what keeps your customers in place.
Fantastic. What would you say is the one most effective strategy to incorporate a internal marketing system?
The most effective strategy is going to be having a marketing plan, but within that plan, from my perspective, the most effective thing you can do, and I'm going to share two things because it's going to be partially based on personality type. One is to do, and if this makes sense for your business, is to have a regular schedule of workshops, webinars, or teleseminars so that you're constantly educated. You're constantly producing content. You should videotape your workshops. Your webinars will automatically be videoed, and you should record your teleseminars. So you can begin to build like a resource library of your own material that you can then use either in a drip sequence or in a conversation with a potential customer. You can reference a video. So content creation in real time is extremely effective. Now, if your gift is not as a speaker, then go get training to become a speaker. But otherwise, having thematic referral type opportunities for your business, whether you're a CrossFit gym, chiropractor, yoga studio, or you're on an e-commerce site, thinking outside the box when it comes to what can I do to get one of my raving fans to think of one person in their life to refer to my business, and what's the fun initiative or campaign that I can run around that's going to speak to them, because the fastest way to double your business is to get each one of the people that are doing business with you to refer one person in their life for whatever you offer. And I can guarantee that every customer that you have, the people watching this right now, every customer knows at least one person that would benefit from the product or service that you offer, which means that all you now need to do is find a way to enroll them to introduce your product or service to one person, and then your business just doubled.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you go from, in a chiropractic office, you're seeing 100 visits a week. All of a sudden you've got, 200. I mean, that can jump so quickly. So that's fantastic advice. What would you say is any questions that I did not answer that or ask you that you'd like to go over with me? Anything I didn't cover?
There's one thing that I think is important. I find that like the difference between a small business owner who really makes it happen and one that just is like constantly struggling and makes every excuse as to why they're struggling is that the business owner who makes it happen is willing to break the rules, is what it comes down to. It doesn't mean break the law. It just means break the rules. They think outside the box. They color outside the lines. They're fearless when it comes to marketing. They're willing to try things to see what works. They're not looking for like the immediate gratification. Like they recognize that running their business is a marathon, and they're just really running each mile along that path to get to this desired outcome. So like that's the one thing I would say is that to succeed as a business owner in today's marketplace, you need to be willing and able to break the rules and then just to persist when others give up. And to me, like those are the characteristics of someone who makes it happen as an entrepreneur or a small business owner.
Fantastic. So for the people that are watching this, how would they get in touch with you if they wanted to learn more about your business and how your business could possibly help theirs?
Yeah, definitely. Just go to www.synduit.com. So that's like synergy, SYN like Nancy, and then like conduit, DUIT. So SYNDUIT. .com, and there's a plethora of resources that are available on the site. You can go check out our blog. We post tons of stuff. Find us on Facebook, Synduit, and like us on Facebook. We're extremely active. We're fearless. I mean, we put a lot of really interesting material out there. Our goal is to get you as the business owner to really start to think differently about your marketing, because when you start thinking differently about your marketing and then you have resources to back it up, your business will grow. So yeah, just get into our ecosystem, and we'd love to create value for you. Perfect.
Well, Jared, I really appreciate the time that you've taken to go over all this information. It is very amazingly produced a lot of value, and I really, really appreciate it. And I'm sure all the viewers will as well. So I want to thank you for talking with me today, and I look forward to talking to you again sometime in the future.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I love what you're doing. I think it's going to be a huge resource library for businesses that need this information. So thank you for inviting me to do this.
My pleasure. Thanks. Cool. Good job.
Awesome. Great.
Yeah, that was let me stop my recording.
Yeah, I'll stop this too. So I'll send you this copy also so you can see whichever.